Hey, hey, Pisces. Mel, intuitive coach here. Excited to bring in your November 2025 love reading. Now, Pisces, this session is devoted entirely to self-love and inner work. We are going to create a space to help you reconnect with your heart, to honor your growth and how far you've come, and to nurture the relationship that you have with yourself. So no matter what season of life you find yourself currently in, whether you are in the midst of healing, rebuilding, expanding, or even remembering who you are, this session is your invitation to return home to you and to trust that everything you've walked through has been shaping you for this next chapter. So let's dive in here and take a look at your current energy. You have the Six of Swords. This is the energy surrounding the relationship you have with yourself. So you are in the midst of a lot of healing. You are coming out of situations that have perhaps been a bit heavy. Now, oftentimes, this is also about moving between self-criticism and self-acceptance, where you want growth, but at the same time, you've been hard on yourself. And I see that you are coming to the space of self-awareness where you not only recognize the patterns that have played out in your relationships within your own self-defensive mechanisms, but also you are emerging in this empowering energy where you're setting boundaries, where you're starting to speak your truth and move out of situations that are heavy, that feel draining, that feel toxic. Because oftentimes the Six of Swords is moving away from the Five of Swords, which can be a battle of the mind, a battle of egos. So this tells me that you've been rebuilding your inner dialogue here and taking a look at self-judgments and self-criticism, and you are being guided to speak to yourself kinder with more compassion. And I feel for many of you as well, there's been a space of low self-worth that you have been working through and maybe even rebuilding your own confidence here, rebuilding that inner motivation and momentum as well as inner trust, because the mind can play tricks on us. And once you get out of that mental entanglement of the Five of Swords, it really does allow you to become more aware of any patterns or any hidden truths or illusions that have played out. So you are in a good spot here with the Six of Swords. This tells me that you are moving on. You are moving on here to calmer waters. You're protecting your peace and you're moving into trust. You're moving into hope and healing, perhaps from some wounds that have been a part of your past. So let's take a look at that wound. What is the wound here? The aspect of yourself that you've been perhaps neglecting or even judging that needs a bit more compassion at this time. You have the world. The world has to do with a sense of wholeness, where there were parts of you that felt very disconnected. You felt like you were fragmented, you were broken, where you're starting to remember that you are whole, that you are already complete here. And even though you may have gone through periods of your life where you felt like Humpty Dumpty sitting on that wall, right? And you've been putting yourself back together again after a heavy fall or two, I see that you're starting to remember your self-worth. You're starting to remember that you're already enough. However, the core wound here with the World card has to do with you feeling like you are at times a failure, or feeling like you are stuck in this never-ending cycle, this prolonged journey where there's entrapment versus freedom. And I see that there may even be an energy of releasing generational pattern or cycles. This can be addressed to inner child wounds or parent wounds here. This may be connected to body image or self-worth, and even emotional expression, where you have been taught that your needs didn't matter in some capacity, or you weren't able to embrace all of you. You were too much. There we go. You were too much. That is a wound that has sat with you. And because for whatever reason, somewhere along the line, you were told to sit down, basically. You were told that you talk too much. You're too much here. Your personality is too big. Your heart is, too big. You love too much. It feels like you have shrunk back your energy and suppressed parts of you. And that is something you are working on moving away from. And it could even have brought in wounds around rejection or abandonment, perhaps even guilt or shame. Like, if I fully show up, all of me, it's going to be too much and they're going to leave. So I have to hold myself back. Oh, my beautiful Pisces, you are so safe. You are so, so very lovable. This is your time to blossom. This is a time to address some of those core wounds. So let's look at the stories. What old stories or wounds are you being asked to release in order to fully deepen into trust and compassion here and love? You have the Ace of Swords. So there we have the mind once again, and this is the Ace of Truth. It's clarity of belief. Really taking a look at your core beliefs and the stories that are weaving around these core beliefs here. And some of these beliefs limit you. Our belief system is profound. Our beliefs can help us fly, right? They can help us grow. They can help us evolve. But our beliefs can also limit us. And one of your biggest stories here is, if I show my true self, I'll be rejected. Or my needs don't matter, so I have to play it small because I've been told that I'm too much or not enough. And some of you, because the world is coming through, one of your biggest stories could be, it's too late to change. It's too late to start over. And if this is a core belief of yours, this is your sign from Spirit that it's never too late. It's never too late to start over. You can fall in love again at 90, right? You can open yourself up to love at whatever age. It's not too late. And sometimes we feel like we're stuck in a marriage or a relationship because we've been in it for 20, 30, 40 years. Sometimes we feel like we owe it to a family member to stay or to take care of them. And this is about you trusting in your inner wisdom instead of feeling guilted or instead of feeling shame tethered to or connected to this situation. When the Ace of Swords comes through, this is also about working on communication. Working with communication with your higher self, because sometimes we can become so overly logic that we start to move into the rabbit hole where we start to spin stories that don't exist. They're lies, they're fears. And I see that this is something you are also working on moving away from. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of the reading here. This is your strengths, your qualities within that are ready to be celebrated, ready to be embraced. You have the Four of Coins here. You're ready to open up after a period of withholding in some way, or if you have felt like those around you have withheld information or withheld parts of their feelings, their emotions, even their body, or this is you, because this is in your strength here, you're starting to open yourself up and allow little sparks of vulnerability to shine through, because as Brene Brown says, vulnerability is our greatest strength. And I see that you have this resilience about you with that Six of Swords, where you can rise up after hardship. And you are coming into this space of authenticity, this space of inner truth with that Ace of Swords that is allowing you to open up through boundaries, right? Through boundaries, but also protecting your energy. Many of you are courageous, and courage as well as resistance is one of your greatest strengths, because what does this mean? It's not only about compassion and kindness, but it's the willingness to grow. And that's what I see with that Six of Swords, the willingness to grow, the willingness to heal by reflecting and taking a look at some of those core wounds, bringing them up to your conscious awareness so you can choose to interrupt the stories and the patterns that have been playing out for you. So I see that you are opening yourself up to love in all forms, and you are tapping into your creativity, your own intuitive awareness here, and you're starting to trust yourself, because there may have been a period in your life where you felt like you couldn't trust yourself, or maybe you felt like you couldn't trust in your faith. I'm getting religion here. Some of you may have been brought up religious, or there were some, Hierophant energy. So there were some social conditionings here or cultural traditions here that you felt like you had to stay tethered to or stuck to in some capacity. But I see that you are taking care of yourself. Let's look at how. How can you better nurture your needs at this time, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically? You have the Hermit here. The Hermit is about reflection, right? Seek. He is the one who gains enlightenment by spending some time in solitude. So many of you at this time are doing just that. Whether you're in a relationship or not, many of you may be on this solo path at this time, but I also see that if you are in a relationship, you're doing the inner reflection to take a look at what is the truth? What is the truth here? What does my heart need, even if it is challenging or difficult to admit? And many of you are allowing some time to rest, allowing time for solitude, whether this is through meditation, it could be connecting with nature. You are working on setting boundaries, Pisces, without guilt. You are saying no when you mean no, and saying yes when it's a soul yes. You're choosing to protect your energy, protect your peace, and express yourself in ways that feel good. This could be journaling. It could be therapy. It could be dance. It could be breath work, mindfulness. You are incorporating grounding rituals, because you see here the Hermit is outside, and he's outside in nature meditating under this tree. Now you could be doing walking meditations, of course, or connecting to self-compassion practices such as mirror work, or even treating yourself gently like you would a friend or a small child or a pet. This is how you are reframing your own inner dialogue. And if there has been emotional fatigue where you have taken on the weight of the world, with that World card showing up here, this is reminding you that it is okay to take some time for yourself. It is okay to rebuild that inner confidence and inner trust, and that you can connect to your body, connect to yourself through food and eating healthier whole foods here, but also about paying attention to what your body is trying to tell you, because oftentimes our body knows before the mind does. It gives us these cues. It gives us these reminders here. And I see that many of you are strengthening your connection to not only your own intuition, but strengthening your connection to the divine. And that may be why I'm getting that religious piece, or you may have second guessed or even doubted your faith at times, or doubted that you had a gift or a spiritual connection. And I see many of you are also making space for practices maybe within the community, such as maybe attending a singing bowl workshop or a sound healing bath. It could even be that you are moving into classes or a community of other like-minded individuals where you're not in it on your own, but it's still part of your own reflective journey here. So basically allowing the support of community, allowing the support of nature and your pets if you have them, or animals, to help you reconnect to that soul self, to reconnect to that soul self. And I see that you are in the midst of nurturing you at this time. So the chakra that is coming up includes the third eye chakra. I think you are the only sign to have received the third eye. And this is all about intuition. It plays into that hermit energy here. It's about wisdom and perspective. So when this chakra opens through self-love, you start to trust your intuition and your inner knowing. You start seeing yourself and others through the lens of compassion and through the lens of clarity, hence the Ace of Swords here. And what does this do? It completes out a cycle. There's the world. Remember, this world is a core wound, meaning this wound of yours doesn't have to keep breaking open time and time again. When the world shows up, a wound of yours can scar over, where yes, you may carry that scar with you for a lifetime, but it doesn't have to be an open wound that oozes when you go through relationship or family dynamics, or including that inner wound with the relationship with yourself, right? This is something you are working on healing, so it can scar, so you can start to see beauty and love and kindness in your outer world, especially when it comes to relationships. So your final message here from your higher self, you have thorns, and it says, weave together the crown you deserve. It is number 14. Some of you may be born on the 14th, and this is your message, Pisces. This right here is the ultimate card of celebration, not just of yourself. You are amazing though, but of those around you. When you are done putting on your crown each and every morning, go and help someone else put on theirs. You have so much love and wisdom to spread, so don't waste it. Self-love is essential, but so is community. That is important too. And that's probably why that last part of your reading with the Hermit, right? You've gained the wisdom, and many of you are healers. Many of you are teachers. You are here to ripple out legacy by helping others heal themselves. And that is one of your greatest strengths as well, because if you can move out of hardship here, you're able to teach others how to do the same. Now, this could be in your profession, but it's also in your personal life, where you could be modeling this behavior for your children if you have them, or for your family, or even for your own spouse. I definitely see that you are weaving together the crown you deserve. That is what I have for you, Pisces. If you enjoyed this self-love reading, please give it a thumbs up. It certainly helps the channel, but it also contributes to the spiritual algorithm, getting to those that need it most, because when we heal, the world heals. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video, or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.